Joining us now, Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona. He serves on the House Judiciary Committee, the Science Space Technology Committee, a member of the House Freedom Caucus. Great to have you with us, and Happy New Year. Congressman, to you.
Happy New Year, Lou. Good to be with you.
Thanks, and it's great to be back here, I'll tell you. A lot going on, and let's start with the president standing tall, speaking straightforwardly to Pelosi and to Schumer, telling them, get the wall. And he's saying that this could be a lengthy shutdown, the longest shutdown back in 95 and 96, 21 days. We're over half of that already. What's your outlook?
Well, I think it's going to be a long time, and I do agree that maybe after Pelosi becomes the speaker, she'll get a little bit looser, but I doubt it. I think we're going to have to push this a long time. And if you remember from that 95 shutdown, Lou, that we were 24 hours away from winning it. That's according to George Stephanopoulos.
Right.
I think we can win this thing. I think the American people want a wall, and I don't think that we need to give in and trade DACA or anything else for it, because the American people want this, and we can stand firm, and the president's standing firm, and I'm real happy about that.
Yeah, it is. I think you're exactly right. The comparison to 95 and 96 was a panicked speaker at that point, and he had a divided party. This president has had a divided party from the moment he walked in here. Without him, there is no wall. Without him, there is no Republican leadership. And Schumer and Pelosi making sounds today, as you listen to them standing there in front of the cameras and microphones, you would have thought they were in a debating society, not co-equal members of this great republic's government. And the president, of course, is a doer, a builder. Making things happen is his essential nature. They want to talk narrative and position and nonsense and blather on. When in point of fact, as the president says, it's about making this country safe. It is about securing that border. It is the national security. And be damned, Democrats, is what I would hope that he would say to them when they do at some point here rather soon come saying, oh, let's talk DACA. DACA is dumb. You don't negotiate national security, do you?
Right. No, that's right. They don't see this as a national security issue. This is not a policy issue for them. This is a political issue, and that's why they're trying to lay it on President Trump. But the public's not buying that. They know that there's no bill even on his desk to veto or sign. This is their doing, and they don't want to budge an inch. They don't want to give anything for this. And just, you know, the visuals are stark. Just yesterday, you have more people trying to rush the border. And what's prevented it? You've got a wall and then the tear gas that comes to slow them down. This is what's necessary. This is what people on the border want. It's what the Border Patrol agents want. It's what the ICE agents want. And quite frankly, if we're going to have a nation, and we're going to be a nation of laws, we need to have a border wall to secure our southern border.
Yeah, to me, it is stunning that Pelosi was adamant, Schumer adamant, no wall, no wall, no wall, despite the fact that they're talking about, you know, these people. She's elected by 700,000 people, a district of 700,000. He's elected from the state of New York, and talking about the president of the United States elected by the nation.
Right. I mean, think about it, Lou. You've got the Rust Belt people, the Midwestern people who crossed over from the Democrat Party and the Independent Party, or independents. They voted for President Trump when he said, let's build the wall. That's why they came over, because they understand what illegal immigration is doing to the country, where you have actually more illegal immigrants coming in than you have legal immigrants.
And then there's the matter of listening. You know, I mean, your conference in the House of Representatives, we could build monuments to the idiocy and the lamentable ignorance of the former speaker. I can say it that way now. A good riddance, and now we're sitting here watching these right-wing, these left-wing rather, radical Dems just behaving awfully. How does it resolve, and how soon?
Well,
real quickly.
I think we're a ways off, Lou. I think that we're going to have to run the course here.
Well, that's, whatever it takes. Build the damn wall, right, Congressman?
Absolutely right. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year again.